Stupid man boobs. Greetings, welcome to another Deckard Games YouTube thing, and today we will be following a chain of videos about 5 games I would replace on the Mega Drive / Genesis Mini, and I was challenged by fellow YouTuber Pedro from the channel It's a Pixel Thing, a channel that I absolutely recommend everyone to visit if you like video games in general, PC things, the ZX Spectrum, the Amiga. Please check out his channel, you will find the link in the description below. And he challenged me, following a chain reaction of videos I guess, he challenged me to name 5 games I would replace on the new Sega Mega Drive Mini. So yeah, I'm wearing my Retros 2 t-shirt, I'm all ready for it. So let's do it, let's find out what 5 games I would replace on the Sega Mega Drive Mini. So game number 1, I'm gonna be the one to call it. I would replace Tetris. I don't care about Tetris on the Mega Drive. I don't care about playing Tetris sitting on my couch on my living room watching the television. I don't know, for me Tetris is an on-the-go game to play. This is the proper way to play Tetris on a good old Game Boy, or even better, an old brick game machine which only plays Tetris. This is the best way to play Tetris, at least in my opinion. Again, I don't care about Tetris on the Mega Drive. I don't care about playing Tetris, again, sitting on my couch. And I can make my own damn cartridge if I want, and you can play Tetris on real hardware. You can grab the ROM online and play on the gazillion clone or emulation systems that exist. So yeah, I don't care about Tetris. I can live without Tetris on the Mega Drive Mini, and I would replace it for the best game of all time, on par with SimCity 2000. You know I love my brawlers. The second entry to this franchise is on the system, but I think it would be very much important to have the first one, that being Streets of Rage, a classic beat 'em up from Sega on the Mega Drive / Genesis. Yes, the second game is better, at least in my opinion. The graphics are better, the sprites are bigger and whatnot. But the first is where it all started, so I would think that it would be very, very important to have the first game on the system. Great music by Yuzo Koshiro, and again, it's great graphics, great sound, awesome gameplay. Again, the second one overall is a better game than the first, but for me at least, this is a icon on the system, so it would be very much important to have Streets of Rage, the first game, the original one, on the Mega Drive Mini, and forget about Tetris. So second game I would replace on the Sega Mega Drive Mini, another game that when I think about this particular game, I don't really think about the Mega Drive or Genesis. I immediately think about the Sega Saturn, or even the 32X, although the 32X game was the first entry to this franchise, and it's the one that I prefer the most. But yeah, it is what it is. I get it, there is a kind of a technical achievement because the game is not all sprites and whatnot, so it pushes the hardware of the system to its limits. But again, it is not a game that I think of when the Mega Drive comes to mind. It is Sega Saturn all over the place, and it is another technical achievement on the Saturn, and that game is Virtua Fighter 2. It is not a bad game, it is a fighting game of course, but it's not the game that I immediately think when Mega Drive pops up on a conversation or whatnot. So yeah, it is Sega Saturn all over the place, so I would replace Virtua Fighter 2 for a classic game not a exclusive game to the system. This game was on all platforms, but it is a very cool game, and one game that I spent hours and hours playing it, with awesome graphics, with a great story, great sound, and that game is the classic Flashback. Not a typical platformer. I was used to fast-paced platformers like Sonic or Mario, which is slower but you can play fast. This is a game with some adventure elements to it, where you have to take your time, you have to take it slow, know your path, know what you want to do or what you need to do within the game. It has a very cool story, some great sound, some great use of color, even on the Mega Drive, which doesn't have the best color palette. But yeah, it all comes together to an ambience that I was not used to see on a console. Maybe on PC games, which were, I don't know, I would call them more adult, but that's not the exact word that I'm looking for. I was not used to seeing these kind of games on a console that you would buy for children, and I was one of them. So yeah, hundreds or dozens, I don't know, of hours playing Flashback. Awesome graphics, awesome sound, great color, great use of shadows, with an atmosphere that was very different at the time. So I would replace Virtua Fighter 2, which is a Sega Saturn game, let's be honest, for a classic Flashback on the Sega Mega Drive. The third game I would replace on the Sega Mega Drive, when we think about Sega, when we think about the Mega Drive, we think about Sonic. Sonic had some of the very best games on the system, beginning with the first one, which is an awesome entry. The second one, I think it is the best game, the best Sonic game on the system. Sonic 3 is awesome. Sonic and Knuckles, which is the sequel or something, they go together, is also awesome. And you have a Sonic compilation, a lot of Sonic games, but then you have Sonic Spinball, a spin-off or a spinball-off, something like that, of the Sonic franchise. The game is okay, but when I think about Sonic, I think about a fast or a fast-paced platformer, not a pinball game. Yes, Sonic can go into that ball shape, but having Sonic on a pinball game, it is, I don't know, it is just weird. Having the blue blur bouncing on flippers and yeah, whatever. I would replace Sonic Spinball, a game that doesn't say much to me, for a very cool game on the system, another platformer, speaking of Sonic, a classic from Konami, that being Rocket Knight Adventures. Again, like Sonic, a platformer, a very fast platformer, very cool graphics, awesome sound, great use of color for the Mega Drive, an absolute classic on the system. I don't really understand why this game isn't on the Sega Mega Drive mini library, but it is what it is. So yeah, I would remove Sonic Spinball, a game that for me doesn't make much sense, to Rocket Knight Adventures, one of the very best platformers on the Mega Drive. If you haven't played Rocket Knight Adventures, or Sparkster is also a great game, but I prefer this one. Rocket Knight Adventures, an awesome platformer on the system. So yeah, Sonic Spinball, who cares about Sonic Spinball? There are excellent pinball games on the Mega Drive on the system. Sonic Spinball is not one of them, so I would remove Sonic Spinball and add Rocket Knight Adventures. So fourth game that I would replace, another game that doesn't come to mind when people talk about the Mega Drive. I guess we can call it another Sonic spin-off, I believe, because it has one of the characters from the Sonic franchise, the evil character. and that game is Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I don't know what this game is doing on the system, because I don't know what to say. It's one of those things that, oh, do you remember the Sega Mega Drive? Oh yes, that system where you could play Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I don't know, that it doesn't happen, so not really sure what this game is doing in the system, but well, it is what it is. If it was my call, I would remove it and I would replace it with a sports title. I don't think that the system comes with, no, it comes with NBA Jam, I believe, so it already has a sport title, but this is kind of a sport title. It's not your typical sport, it's not even a real sport. It's a futuristic sport, a kind of football, American football, not rest of the world football. So yeah, I would replace Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, a game that makes absolutely no sense, in my opinion, for Speedball 2. Not a very, let's say, talked about game on the system, but it's another one of those games that I had so much fun playing it back in the day, especially with friends. Again, it's kind of a futuristic football game. It is not a simulation game, so even for people who don't like sports games, I believe you could enjoy this, because it's not a real sport. You play in this arena with against the opponent team, and you have all these kind of protections. You can mangle the opponents. You can throw the ball to the walls on the arena, and you can upgrade your players, your team. It is a very cool game on the system, and again, super fun to play with a friend. And for me, back in the day, having fun with the system, having fun with the console, and the Mega Drive was the console from my youth, was having fun with your friends, and this is one of those games. You can pick it up, play against the computer is fun, but playing against one of your friends not only is fun, but it is laughter all over the place. Everything is cool about this game. Again, you can mangle the opponents, you can leave them on the floor, so it is a very cool game on the system, and I will replace Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine with Speedball 2, a kind of sports title. So fifth and final game that I would replace on the Mega Drive Mini, and this game, when I think about it, not this game in particular, but the character within the game that names the game, I don't think about the Sega Mega Drive. I instead think about the Master System. For me, this character, which was almost the mascot from Sega, belongs on the 8-bit era, belongs on the Sega Master System, not on the Mega Drive. When I think about this character, I think about the Master System, so I would replace Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, because again, for me, Alex Kidd is a 8-bit game, not a 16-bit, and once again, when I think about the Mega Drive, I don't think about Alex Kidd, so I would replace Alex Kidd with a multiplayer game. I know that the Mega Drive Mini only has plugs for two controllers. You can't play with 3 or 4 games like Micro Machines that support 4 players, and some tennis games, and this game supports up to 4 players, so we would be limited to 2. It would be awesome if the Mega Drive Mini would allow us to plug in 4 controllers, and that game is Mega Bomberman. Everybody knows the Bomberman franchise, and this is a very cool game on the system. Again, action-packed, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs playing Mega Bomberman. Again, up to 4 players, only 2 would be able to play, but still, it is a lot of fun. And I believe it is the only Bomberman on the Mega Drive, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Everybody knows Bomberman, I don't need to talk much about it, so yeah. I would replace Alex Kidd, a game for me that reminds me of the Master System, and in that place I would put Mega Bomberman, a absolutely fun game, very fast-paced. It's an awesome game, it's Bomberman. You can't go wrong with a game like this, so yeah, Mega Bomberman. So yeah, these are the 5 games that I would replace on the Sega Mega Drive Mini or Genesis if you live in North America. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think of my choices, and what games would you like to see on the system, replacing it or adding them, whatever. Yes, check the description of this video where you will find the link to Pedro's channel. It's a Pixel thing, also from Retros 2. He gave me this very nice t-shirt, and all the channels that participated in this chain of videos, let's call it that. And yeah, remember that you can follow me on the different social media networks that exist for some social media nonsense. Check out my other videos on the channel, and if you like this very own video, leave it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. You know, as always, thank you very much for watching this, and until my next video, take care.